All right, listen, Lincoln. The Constitution, it's not a set of guidelines. They are actual rules that you have to follow. Hello and welcome to Civil War in Hindsight. I'm Lieutenant Tommy. With me, as always, is Prospector Johnny. And this week, Prospector, we've got Abraham Lincoln, who's just crapping all over the Constitution with the whole freedom of the press thing. He starts this.
Wait, all right. So hold up. Abraham Lincoln has been, he's been going off the deep end with this. He's declared martial law.
Yes.
All right.
Suspended habeas corpus.
Suspended habeas corpus, and now he is. Oh, and he taxed. He's making us pay for working.
Yeah.
And now he's attacking the press.
Yeah, he's attacking the press. Freedom of the press is now officially gone.
It's gone. He can't make it gone. That's in the he can't.
Well, Johnny,
you can't get rid of it, right?
Well, he is going to suspend it, but before he does that, Johnny, on the 16th of August, he's going to say, and I quote, that the inhabitants of the Confederate States are in a state of insurrection against the United States, and that all commercial,
agreed.
Where you been at, Lincoln?
Same page.
This has been going on for a minute now. And I quote, that all commercial intercourse between loyal and rebellious states is unlawful. So now he's saying that any commercial trade between the North and the rebellion states is with unless it meets certain criteria, and by that criteria beneficial to the war effort or his own personal pockets, I'm sure. Wink, wink, wink. But for the most part,
so he has a caveat in this, but so he's shitting on mom and pop shops that are probably getting cotton from the South to make clothes in the North in their shops, and they're now not allowed to do that.
Yeah, basically, you can't get any goods from the South. You definitely cannot give any goods to the South. This is a whole part of the embargo thing. So now it's just extending not only on the sea, but on the land as well. Like, there is to be no.
Okay, so now, I mean, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt the Northeast with all of their manufacturing, right? Because that's where
we get
a lot of the
cotton.
clothes are made.
Well,
and so we got to get it somewhere, and we don't grow that here.
Well, but you got to remember also, Johnny, that last week Lincoln said that any goods that were being used by the Confederates against the North are now subject to forfeiture. So whenever the North takes over territory, let's say they take over a plantation area in Virginia, which has happened, now all that cotton's Northern cotton for free. So
well, that's nice, but we've also been losing a lot.
Yeah, we have been doing that,
and so that's not going to benefit us a whole lot when we're just losing territory or not gaining any, and just losing our men, basically just sacrificing our boys and men for nothing.
Yeah, that's true. And then this is where we get into the whole the hell with the freedom of the press thing, Johnny, because he's also going to bring up charges of disloyalty for alleged pro-Southernism, which is now, I guess, a new term that he's using. Pro-Southernism against the New York Journal of Commerce, the Daily News, the Daybook, and the Freeman's Journal, and the Brooklyn Eagle. So several newspapers.
So this isn't. These aren't newspapers in the South.
These are.
I was
New York.
expecting.
No, these are.
I was
New
expecting
York
him just be like Southern. This is.
No.
Okay, deep state in the North, and so he's mad at them for
what he considers
being sympathetic.
Yes, pro-Southernism. So freedom of
not
freedom
not
of
just sympathetic. They are wanting
pro-South. Yeah.
Okay, so basically, kind of slander against the North and supporting the Southern effort. Is that what they were doing with the press, or
anything that,
or were they just being the press and reporting facts, and Lincoln didn't like it because they're like, oh, the South just crushed
us in two battles back to back.
And this, like, back to back, like they're on a roll, and you as a journalist you report that, but he doesn't want that. I'm guessing he wants just pro-North, dictator style propaganda. What the hell are you doing, Lincoln?
It's kind of what it sounds like, Johnny. It is kind of what it sounds like. On the 17th of August, the Union departments of Northeastern Virginia, Washington, D.C., and the Shenandoah are going to be merged into one department called the Department of the Potomac, with the main army changing its name from the Army of Northern Virginia to the Army of the Potomac, which clears up a little bit, because I mean it was a little odd that we have a Union Army called the Army of Northern Virginia. That was a little confusing.
It is nice that we're starting to sort of figure out labels and names and hopefully uniforms soon.
Hopefully.
so that we can avoid some confusion, which has been a bit of an issue with the war up until this point.
Yes, yeah, definitely a little bit of the confusion up to this point, and some minor fighting is going to happen in Honeywell, Palmyra, and Brunswick, Missouri. Again, no substantial casualties. These are just minor scuffles. These are a couple of guys taking pot shots.
I mean, Missouri sounds like it's less in a war and more of just a state of turmoil with a lot of community members kind of battling against each other's style. Like it doesn't feel like the rest of what's going on.
We've only had two sort of substantial battles in Missouri, one for the north and one for the south, and that's been about it so far. And most of the rest of it has just been, like a couple of random dudes who aren't happy with the north taking a pot shot at a train,
Sure. So, but it's, I mean, God bless all those people in Missouri right now, because that's got to be a hellhole to live in.
Yeah, it's not and then this is right up following after all the years of bleeding Kansas and all that other stuff that was going on in Kansas and Missouri with the whole, we want to be slavery, we don't want to be slavery. Yeah, so this has been going on for a while. These states are not states that you'd really want to live in.
So a lot of this is the kind of the border states coming to a head, with things that have been boiling up for a while that now they have basically an excuse and a reason to start being forceful with it.
Yep, sure enough. And also on the 17th, there's going to be orders that have been issued by the War Department, the federal War Department, to pay 40 cents and one daily ration to all nurses in Northern armies. So every day, if you're a nurse, you're going to get 40 cents and you're going to get a daily ration. So so that's good. Yeah, I mean, we're going to need that. We've lost some people.
We're going to need them. We're going to need these nurses because, good God, this has been already a incredibly bloody war. Am I wrong about it? Am I misremembering past wars?
No,
it seems like the casualties are really high.
We've had the largest armies ever assembled in North America already to start. So yeah, we've had some pretty good casualties so far in this war. We get through the 18th of August with pretty much nothing major happening outside of a minor attempted Confederate attack near Sandy Hook, Maryland. Basically, this has become a daily occurrence where Confederates on one side of the Potomac and Union guys on the north side of the Potomac are taking pot shots.
Okay, so at each other. This sounds like bored soldiers.
This is bored soldiers,
just being like, let's see if I can hit it.
Hey, Johnny! Hey, Johnny!
How many hundred yards? Hey, Tommy, what's going on, man?
How's that tobacco going over there? Pa-pow!
Oh, it's pretty good, man. Let me tell you what. How you liking your lack of cotton since your dictator president won't let you have none?
Yeah! Pa-pow! Yeah, this is what is. Yeah, that's what's good. It's what's going on. It's what's going on over there. On August 19th, the former governor of Missouri, Claiborne Jackson, he's going to enter alliance with the Confederate government, a formal alliance in Richmond, and Missouri is virtually admitted into the Confederacy at this point. Now, they're not officially admitted into the Confederacy because their government.
They got to do the papers and all that, and the government's it's a cluster.
Because the official government, the people voted no, we're maintaining neutral, and Claiborne Jackson, the old governor, didn't like that and pitched a hissy fit.
Right, because he's a traitor.
Because he's a traitor. So now Claiborne Jackson himself, with his troops, has gone to the Confederacy and said, "We're going to be a part of you." And the Confederate government's like, "Okay, you'll be in government in exile in the Confederacy." So we're like, you're not officially a state yet until we get Missouri taken back, but you're in exile. So effectively, at this point, depending on how you want to look at it, Missouri has 2 governors and 2 governments. So I guess whichever side you want to support, pick it, and that's your government that you choose to follow.
Sure, but within Missouri, is this split kind of the way Virginia is, or is this? Is it peppered with kind of both mentalities? Like, so is there a possibility of Missouri just splitting? And just half north, half south.
It could potentially go that way because as of right now, the Confederates do control the southwestern part of the state, but the North controls everything else, including the major thoroughfares like the river and railroads. All the railroads, all the rivers, they're all controlled by the North. The South just kind of controls the southwestern portion of the state.
All right, so what if they just become a part of like Oklahoma, Texas, or what's that, Arkansas or whatever?
They potentially could.
What if they just do that? Just get rid. All right, you guys are gone. You got your new governor. You're part of that state now. You can deal with that, and we'll keep the most of it with the.
We'll see what
shipping
happens in the long term. Although I think from what I'm hearing in the War Department, that it sounds like we're getting some reinforcements sent out to Missouri to calm that zone of conflict down.
Okay. So we're gonna kind of try to stamp out their segregation of or no, what was secession?
Secession. Yep. The Confederate government is also going to issue itself another loan, Johnny. This time of $100 million to be taken up by the planters to help finance the war. So this is all your plantation owners. They're now going to have to give $100 million to the Confederate government to help pay for this war. So I guess I should feel better as a poor, second lieutenant who only has to give 3% of my pay to the federal government. These planters are going to have to pay $100 million.
Hey, Tommy, spoiler alert. That's probably less than 3% of your
their pay.
They're still coming out on top. I mean, good God, what they have had free labor for how many years?
Yeah, for the entirety of the United States. Yeah, there is that. But this is like the Confederates' fourth loan already, and we're like 6 months into this war.
Tough.
So.
But you know what?
Figure it out.
It's monopoly money too.
It's monopoly money at this point.
I'll go ahead and give you 1.5 million, 150, however many Confederate bucks. Which is a made up thing anyway.
Yeah, it's made up because it's not backed by gold. At least
by nothing. They're just printing paper.
At least if you get $1 from the Ohio State Bank, it's backed by gold. You can go and take that and you can get yourself $1 worth of gold. The Confederates right now, no, it's play money. It's monopoly money.
Yeah, no, we got it. We're good for it. Yeah, don't worry about it. Once we win this war with all our supplies we have.
Lincoln is also going to, on the 19th, he's going to recall General Henry W. Halleck in California, who's stationed there in California. He's going to recall him back to Washington. Rumor has it that Lincoln is considering Halleck to be the overall commander of all Union troops.
Okay, so it's not recalled because he messed something up. He just needs him out of California, what are we doing out there? Anything?
Well, California is a state, but it's right now. Yeah, it's so far removed from everything that
it's its own country essentially. Like they're not being really impacted by this, right? We don't have tons and tons of troops out there or anything.
No,
some obviously because he got recalled. So he's looking for
other than
good leaders.
Yeah, other than the odd Indian attack out in California, there's not a whole lot going on out there.
Right.
But hope for Halleck is quickly dashed, at least initially, because the newly formed Army of the Potomac is going to be given overall command to George McClellan. So, granted, that's not the entire Union forces. This is just the Army of the Potomac.
So Army of the Potomac is, I'm guessing, is our largest.
That's our Eastern Army. Yes,
now.
That's our largest army. That's the army in the East. That's the army that's going to be tasked with taking out Richmond. They're the ones that
those are the boys that are going to get in this war. Is essentially what we're thinking. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. We have two major armies right now. We got the Army of the Potomac that's out in the east. That their job is obviously to take Richmond, and then we have several smaller, like Western armies of volunteers that their job is going to be taking everything down that Mississippi so that they can effectively cut the Confederacy in half. That's the Anaconda Plan by General Scott.
Oh, also, we got a bunch of people that are dressing up as bison hunters out way west for some reason, right?
Yes, we have soldiers, both Union and Confederates, dressing up as buffalo hunters, getting at it with each other in the Nevada territory.
And not doing shit.
Shit.
But so most of it's the Potomac and then the Western Front on the Mississippi to get
along the Mississippi, yes,
secure that.
Yep.
And starve them out.
Yep. A convention here on the 20th is going to be held in Western Virginia. The topic at hand is let's form a new state, a pro-union state, Johnny, called the Kanawha. That's a proposed name for this region of Western Virginia, the Kanawha, which
that sounds like cultural appropriation. Is that an Indian?
It sounds a little bit like an Indian name, but at least it's better than like Western Virginia, so I can stop saying Western.
I guess
Virginia
that's
and start
true.
saying Kanawha. We'll see
that is a much better name than Western Virginia. That'd be a stupid name because then you're not even making a new name. You're just being like, we're a different part of this same state.
Yeah.
So at least they're separating themselves from that Southern ideology of let's keep slaves and further slavery.
Yep.
Throughout the country.
We're now, all those the Blue Ridge Mountains. They're now the Kanawha Mountains. The hell with old Virginia. The Confederate troops were going to have a minor skirmish where they attempt to raid a train near Lookout Station, Missouri. Again, this is just pop shots. People trying to raid supplies. That kind of stuff.
This sounds like miniature games. Like this is like a little gang war type stuff. Like they're not. Are these official members of the Confederate Army?
I mean, depends on
kind of.
Well, I mean, they're rebel. Like the thing is what's an official member of the Confederate Army?
I guess that's true. Anything rebelling against the United States would be considered. Like you could basically say you get away with anything and say, "Oh, I'm just part of the rebellion. Uprising of traitorism." So let me go.
You can kill your neighbor and steal his cow and be like, "That's because I'm a part of the Confederacy."
Yeah, and he was a Union. Yeah, he was a Union sympathizer.
Yep.
The South has to just be a wasteland right now. Jiminy Christmas.
Traitor President Davis is going to write General Joseph E. Johnson at Manassas asking him, hey, why am I receiving reports that your troops aren't being fed properly and that the wounded aren't being looked after properly and being kind of left at the wayside? What the hell is going on? Why do I have Confederate troops complaining about food?
Yeah, again, so what's going on here? This is
the South being okay. So far in this war, they're fighting us with flintlocks because they don't have enough.
Because they don't have
proper guns. They don't have proper percussion muskets. They don't have proper.
Which is part of the reason. Can we talk about that for a minute? That's part of the reason why it's so deadly, right? Like
we got rifles
because we got good aiming guns now.
Yeah, you don't have to use those flintlocks. But we got them using flintlocks. We've got them not having enough food to feed their soldiers. And we've got them now not having enough medical supplies to give proper medical care to their wounded soldiers. So,
I mean, this sounds like our plan's working a bit, right? Like, this is what we want. We want to, which is, I mean, kind of awful. But it's a bunch of insurrectionists and traitors, I guess. So it's but we basically want to starve them out and make them uncomfortable and just reduce their supplies, and we're doing that.
Yeah, we're seeing the effects of it already. And Johnny,
either we're doing it, or they just didn't have shit to begin with, and they decided to try to attack us when we were supplying all of their food and stuff.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit of that. But Johnny, this week is going to end with Abraham Lincoln and the federal government seizing copies of the New York newspapers deemed aiding the rebellion, and will not allow those newspapers to be delivered by the mail. They are literally at this point suppressing the press. They are taking newspapers that are destined to be delivered to people's houses. They are seizing them and destroying them, saying that they are traitorous and cannot be delivered by the U.S. mail.
Tommy, I have a quick question. Your United States of America is what type of government?
It's supposed to be a democracy.
A democracy, and that's where the people vote in representatives to then go, and then you're supposed to have inside of your Constitution, right? Because you have a Constitution.
We have a Constitution. Yes, yeah.
And that is freedom of the press is one of those top 5.
Yeah, that's right? Like that. That's like that's number one.
It's number one. It's number one. Number one is freedom of the press. You can say whatever you want and be factual and report whatever story. And number one, he took away. He just said no. He says, you can't have that.
These newspapers
because you're printing things I don't like.
Yes, burn them. Burn them. So,
Lincoln is not a president anymore. We're calling him that, but it's kind of like an El Presidente type thing going on here. He's not quite a president. He's exercising dictator type qualities. And while I agree that we should be fighting against slavery and everything, I'm not fighting for a dictatorship.
No,
right?
Like, I'm definitely. That's not what I signed up for. So I guess we'll see what happens with El Presidente Lincoln and see if he calms his shit maybe down the next few weeks. But I'm guessing, no. That's it for this week in Civil War in Hindsight. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And if you enjoy this, check out Historic Hindsight, where we talk about Titanic being a fake conspiracy theory and electroshock therapy.